to Scousers with a Passion. Thank you so much for your comments, your shares. I know you've enjoyed all our interviews and every one of you has got a favorite. I'm really, really happy about that. I've got my favorites, but I'm never going to tell you who they are. And today we are here with the first person like me. She's an adopted Scouser instead of a born and bred one. But we count as much as the Scouser next door. So as you know, I let all my guests introduce themselves. So without any further ado, I leave the stage to Melissa.
Hi guys, hi everyone. Thanks so much. I'm Melissa Goff and I'm the founder and owner of the Glambassadors Resortwear. So this is a premium luxury swimwear collection aimed at the 25 to 45-year-old woman who wants to live her best life, is classy, sassy, wants to ooze confident and basically just live her best life.
Fantastic. How did you come about with this idea? Because it's a very niche, isn't it? It's not just, it's not clothes in general, not accessories in general, but specifically swimwear. So how did you come about?
So the idea actually came about 4 years ago. I was going on my friend's hen party and I was with about 35 other girls, 25, 35 other girls. And everyone was all in a WhatsApp group and everyone was posting the swimwear and the outfits that they were going to be wearing. And I thought, oh, God, I better get started on mine. So I started looking, and then as I was checking in the group to make sure no one else had it, everything that I'd seen and I'd liked, somebody had already bought. So I started freaking out. And I was thinking, oh no, I shouldn't have left it this late. So then I carried on looking and I was getting more stressed. Time was running out. And coming from a design background, so I did fashion design at uni and at college, I thought I'm just going to pull out the sewing machine and I'm just going to make something, like make some outfits. Then the stress will be gone. I definitely won't have anything on that anyone else has got. Yeah, I hope not, yeah. And I thought that's what I'll do. So I did that, spent the next week or so throwing up a few ideas, and then I put them in the group, in the WhatsApp group. And I said, this is what I'm wearing, because people were asking. And they were all like, oh my God, where have you got them from? Like, they're so different. And they're all like, I'm not wearing mine now. I want something like that. And I was just like, oh God. So then I ended up making at least one outfit for most of the women, which was great. I mean, I did come out in a few coleslaws, but it paid for my holidays. So that was fantastic. Yeah. And it sort of grew from there. So while I was away, we got loads of group photographs. People were asking when we were away, where were they from? So I was giving my number out. And then when we got back, I thought, oh, I'll just start a little Instagram page, and I posted some pictures. And that was the start of it, really. I started getting quite a lot of interest, and it grew quite quickly. I started getting orders. And then since then, I was doing that alongside my full-time job, which was also in fashion. I was a fashion, I worked on the buying and merchandising team for a big, boohoo.com, quite a global company in Manchester. So I was running it alongside that for 2 years, and then finally decided to take the leap after I had my little boy, and that sort of career didn't really suit where I was going and, you know, the family life that I needed. So I took the plunge and I left Boohoo to do it full time. And then that's when it started really to gain some momentum, and I've grown a little small team. Yeah, it's gone from there. It's been great.
Amazing. I love this. It's really, really nice to hear success stories like that, because there is a lot of people who have very brilliant ideas and they just think, you know what, if I stay in the corporate job, you know, the salary is there, I don't have to worry, and everyone just goes, what if it doesn't work? But no one ever thinks, what if it works? And I mean, the ones who actually think about that are the ones who do it. But I think there is so many other people who have these brilliant ideas, and that you know, now you're not, but in general, when you're out and you're chatting to people come out with these ideas, and I just think, why don't you do it? And they just go, well, how do I do it? Well, you do it, isn't it? It's that way. Absolutely. So I think here we need to do a little step back, and you need to explain people, how did you become an adopted Scouser?
So, funnily enough, all my family are Scousers. So I'm one of 6 children, and my parents moved away from Liverpool when my oldest brother was 5 or something, so I wasn't even thought of then. So we moved away to St Helens. That's where I grew up. But I was down in Liverpool every weekend, visiting family, staying at my nan's, and then I went to Liverpool University. I just loved Scousers. Like, I always knew I was going to marry a Scouser, and I've always been drawn back to Liverpool. So I could have gone to any university, but I wanted to go to Liverpool. And then 12 years ago, I met my now partner, and he's a Scouser. And I knew I was going to marry a Scouser. And then I got a job in Liverpool after I graduated, and then we settled here. So yeah, can't see myself living anywhere else. I just love the people, and it's what the brand's about as well. And I think that sort of helped while I was living here. And I went on that hen party, and I had that idea. Those designs were from a Scouse heart, because they're very flamboyant and unique and original. And it's sort of, they originally started out as a bit of a party girl, but they've evolved. So they're a bit more classic and chic now. And yeah, so I always knew I'm a Scouser at heart.
And I must admit, never, like in Liverpool, I have met people who buy so many outfits for one occasion. Like,
I know, it's crazy.
Anywhere else, people actually go on holidays and go on hen-dos with things they've already got.
No, that doesn't happen here. We don't do that.
Yeah, people even buy stuff for Saturday nights, which is absolutely amazing. So tell us, how did it grow? You said you were holding on to a full-time job first, and then this started growing. Did it grow just organically, or was there a point where you said, you know what, I'm going to push on it now because I want it to actually grow?
Yeah, it was pretty much got to a point where I couldn't put any more time and energy to get it to the next level unless I left my job, because anyone who works in fashion will understand, you're working crazy hours in head offices and all the rest of it. And it was when I left, and it became the sole income. That's when you sort of, my heart was already in it anyway. I was more in the Glambassadors than I was in my corporate job at that point, in my heart and my soul. And it was when I actually left, and I was doing it full time, and I was dedicating full days to it. And instead of working the crazy hours on my corporate job, I was doing crazy hours for myself, which I've been doing from day one anyway. But it was from then, really. That's when I started to invest in, I went abroad and did a photo shoot instead of doing them in studios. I paid for high-end models. I started investing in a team. So I was originally sewing things myself. And then I got some freelance machinists who were working from home because they didn't have a premises. And then I decided to invest in a unit in a studio. So then I had people coming to work for me. So I was doing less running around, dropping things off and picking things up, and not actually working on it because I was too busy doing all the running around. That was able to actually work full time in it while the team was making the orders. So it was at that point, it was great.
Absolutely amazing. So tell us how it works. Is there a collection? Do you do bespoke? Do you do orders? How does it work? Do we pick from what is available?
So it originally started out me doing the designs that I liked, putting them on. People would request them, and I'd make them, or they would ask for a different colour. It was easy at the beginning. I was very flexible. But then as the business grew and styles started to stand out, I would put some stock behind it while still making samples, putting them on to see if anyone was interested. When I started getting some traction on some, we'd make some stocks and ready to post out. And then I moved to making some collections in the Far East. So I've got experience of the Far East and outsourcing, because this is what I've always done for my career. So it was quite easy for me because I knew what to do. So I then took the bestsellers, got some made. So we had stock being shipped in of those bestsellers, and then the team had more time to be able to make orders on other styles and stock on other styles that we're picking up but weren't quite as good. So now we do mini collections, and we still sort of go with that flow as well. If people want something bespoke for them, that's probably 60% of the business. And the majority of people want them made to their measurements, which is fine. That's something that we do day in, day out. And then we have stock readily available. So if I had a bestseller the next season, I might put it in a few colours and it's there ready to buy and ship out. So it's still a bit of a mixed model, to be honest. But the bespoke side is very popular, as you can imagine.
Yes.
In Liverpool especially.
It would be. Absolutely. So you told us you were working in Manchester. So why did you decide to set this up in Liverpool?
So I was living in Liverpool and my partner lived in Liverpool, and I just love Liverpool. Like I was never going to move. I was never moving to Manchester. I was working in Manchester for 7 years and I never wanted to move there. It's a great city, but it's not Liverpool. And I knew that Liverpool was the place for this brand, and I wanted to have people working with me and helping me build this business that were Scousers and good, had good hearts, because that's what Scouse people are. And yeah, that's the reason. Like, I just can't ever imagine myself not like leaving Liverpool. I just can't imagine being anywhere else. Like, I love the people, and that's where the brand sort of started, from me going to uni at Liverpool and living in Liverpool myself and sort of becoming an adopted Scouser and, inheriting that style and that fashion sense. That's where the brand started. So I couldn't imagine taking it somewhere else. Even though it's evolved a bit more now, I just couldn't imagine it being anywhere else. Even when I'm global, it's still going to be here.
I agree. I mean, I'm Italian and I've got clients everywhere. I've got clients in France, obviously in Italy, in the US, in Australia, and obviously in the UK. But and when I divorced, I moved to Liverpool because I followed my ex-husband. And when I divorced, everyone was asking, "Are you coming back now? Are you coming back now?" And I wouldn't. I fell in love with Liverpool ages before I actually met my ex-husband, because my best friend was doing a PhD here. And I was working freelance then, and I would work a couple of months and then take 2 weeks off and come here and just be. I didn't have anything to do in reality. I would just be in the city and walk and go to the docks, and it's a fantastic place to be. I completely agree, and this is why I started the series. So tell us, if you can, is there any big projects, any news that you can tell us? Or if you can't, and we understand.
Well, COVID obviously came in March and ruined 2020 for me. Well, I say ruined. I had a fantastic January, February that I started the year that I could never have imagined, and had some great opportunities lined up in retail on the high street. And then obviously that got put to a standstill. So we're now working on that for 2021. So I won't say what it is. I don't want to jinx it. But hopefully something really big will happen in 2021. Well, it will. Stay positive.
It will. I like that. It will. I think we've all had enough.
To be honest, like, even though it killed, pretty much stopped everything that was happening for the Glambassadors, it gave me time to focus on my coaching business. So I coach startup businesses as well. And it really gave me the time to invest in that I always wanted to do. So for me, I say now it's my best year that I've ever had, even not financially, but personally. And like, I'm just such a positive person that I see the positive, try to see the positive in everything. So for me, it has been my best year yet.
I actually agree. Financially, it's not been the best year for me either, but I took some time to work on the business, and I made a lot of changes, and I changed the way I work with my clients and the clients I work with, and it's really important, and it's something we never do because we're constantly working in the business and not on the business, and it makes such a difference, isn't it? Just stopping and going, well, that doesn't work, so why am I doing it?
And the thing for the Glambassadors, even though it didn't give me the sales and everything that I was expecting, it gave me the time to create a dedicated wedding package. So about 80% of my clients, it never used to be this, but as it's grown, it's getting higher and higher. About 80% of my clients and customers now are brides or brides to be or hen party. Funnily enough, that's where it started. So I always wanted to do a dedicated wedding package, and I never had the time. I was constantly just making a new one here, a new one there in between orders. But I managed to do a full collection and shoot it and everything ready for 2021 brides,
Amazing.
Yeah, so again, that gave me time. I think that's what we've all taken away from it, haven't we? Time and time to reflect.
Yeah, definitely, yes. So if someone who's watching has an idea, has been toying with the idea of starting something, or just saw something out there and thought, I can do this better, or I could do this differently, but they're not quite convinced they can do it, have you got any advice you want to give them? Which can be either don't do it or go for it.
Absolutely. I could talk about this for hours on this question alone. And I think a lot of people get wrapped up in the overwhelm, and they think it's so much bigger than it is starting your own business. It's got to be professional and finished, and you've got to be doing something that somebody else isn't already doing, and you've got to be doing it better, and all this stuff you don't like. No business is original. The thing that makes it original is you. So for me, I just say go for it. Just get started. That is, if I say one thing, just get started. And you figure it out as you go. That's what we all do. No business comes wrapped, finished and ready, and it'll grow and evolve, and so will your customers, and you just find your own way. And this is what I try and teach to all my coaching clients. So I coach startup product businesses. So basically just teaching my journey, because I've worked in the industry, so I've got all the connections and the experience in sourcing Far East and all the rest of it. But from me starting, everything that I've gone through, from building a social following and building a tribe and loyal customers and everything in between, to scaling up to retail now, I think if I can save people time and money, it's took me 4 years. If I can teach someone that in 4 months, and then they're away and they're making a profit and they can leave the job, then fantastic. That's all I set out to do. But I just try and instill like the mindset. That's a big piece that I teach, to just believe in yourself. Like anyone can do it. It's not hard. There are hard times, but it's not hard. You just got to get started.
I agree. I completely agree. And it's definitely the thing, isn't it? You need to get started. We were saying this a couple of weeks ago in the interview with Marie, who founded Empowerment House. And this is the thing, what she said was, I created Empowerment House because I can see so many women around have all these ideas for services or products or businesses or anything, even just going and starting to do tango lessons, and they just don't start because they just go, I don't know how to do it. And the reality is you just step and you've done it, and then you're in it. So you either
just step by step. Every day you learn something new. It's not easy. It's not always easy. And it's that discomfort piece. People don't want to be seen starting small, which was my problem to start with. That's what held me back massively. Don't want to be seen starting small. You want to be like the big brands, and you want to look glossy and finished. It's just not what happens. They never used to be glossy and finished. And putting yourself outside your comfort zone. So for me, I would never put my face in front of the brand. I would never have done what I'm doing now on camera with you. But I've learned to do it over time. It's step by step, and you become more comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that's where growth is. So you just got to start, and step by step keep going.
Exactly. Which takes us to the next bit, which is, if you had to pick a quote or an important phrase or something inspirational that you want to say to the people who are watching, what would it be?
So again, for me, I do in the mindset work, I do affirmations. It's all about, saying I am strong, I'm powerful, I'm capable. So for me, I always have a quote of the year, and my quote this year is, I can, I will, just watch.
Oh, I love that. That's very Scouser.
See, it's rooted now. It's in there. There's no getting rid of it.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
Listen, and if anyone who's watching wants to come check you out, check out the product, maybe now that we've been freed a little bit and people can start doing hen-dos again, they're looking for last minute stuff to buy or Christmas presents.
Yeah.
Where do they go? Give us all your contact details.
So my business is called The Glambassadors. So you can go to theglambassadors.com. You can find us on Instagram at the Glambassadors. You can find us on Facebook at the Glambassadors. And you can also find me personally on Instagram, melissa.goff_.
Fantastic. So thank you so much for doing this and with such a short notice, because Melissa is another person I actually didn't know before starting the series, and like the amazing people at the fermentation station, she reached out through Instagram because she saw the series. She knew someone else I interviewed, and it's absolutely amazing the connections I have created with this series. I will be forever grateful just for those. So thank you so much for doing this with such short notice. I am really glad I've interviewed you, and I am going to stock up on everything you sell for when I can finally go to Italy again, because I haven't been for 18 months. So my next summer holiday is going to be very long.
Oh, amazing. Oh, thank you so much for having me. The pleasure's been all mine. It's been great.
Thank you. And I will see you at the next episode of Scousers with a Passion. See you soon. Bye.